Hi, my name's Anna Maguire and I'm the Phonics and Reading Lead at Cwmffrwdoer Primary School, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about little Wandle. So I currently teach at Cwmffrwdoer Primary School and I am the Phonics and Reading Lead there. Shemai everyone, I introduced the Phonics Little Wandle programme in June 2022. This then became a whole target on our school development plan, and the training started at this point. And this has been continuous going forwards. We're still having continuous training. My background is in early reading and writing skills, and most of my teaching career has been in England, where you are accountable for children passing the phonics screening test in year 1. I'm very passionate about ensuring every child is a confident reader. My previous school in Swindon had adopted the programme before I moved to Wales to teach in Wales, and lots of schools across the borough in Swindon are currently using Little Wandle. As a school, we just really needed to see a change with the way phonics was being taught. We needed to find a programme to teach systematic, synthetic phonics to enable our children to be both skilled readers and writers. So Little Wandle in our school is used from nursery all the way up to year 2, and it can go beyond. There is also intervention planning for SEND, because it's an English scheme, ALN, or planning for that as well. And Little Wandle itself, just to give you a bit of background, was developed during COVID in England between Sutton Primary School and Chesterton Primary School. So they came up with the scheme. For us, it's been an absolute game changer. So training. So the sort of training that Little Wandle provides, now I'm going to talk about. So somebody in your school becomes the reading lead, and that was myself. And you can complete the online training first, and you become like a reading coach and mentor for others. You get supported as well through the website. There's constant webinars, which are all free to access. And it talks to you about how to monitor it, how to feedback, how to train. So it's really supportive. All the training is completed online. There are live training webinars and recorded ones and teaching videos that staff can access at any point. And lots of my staff have done that. If they're not sure about how to teach a certain phoneme or sound, they'll go to the videos. The training is from nursery to year 2 and beyond. So in June, like I said, when we started, all the staff, we actually had an inset day, and all the staff completed the 6 training modules. And then I received a report to see, you know, sort of where people were with it, what extra training they might need, but it was all done remotely. You don't have a training visitor that would come to the school, because it's obviously an English scheme, and they are part of English hubs. But we are now a partnership school. There's another school in Powys. I'm sure there'll be more. We would be more than happy if you wanted to come in and see how it works. You could come in and visit us. Staff have found all of the video webinars very helpful and supportive. The training is very comprehensive and detailed, and lots of my support staff who are now taking interventions have also completed the online training for things like rapid catch-up and ALN support. It was really important for us that it was a whole school sort of mission, so that did involve our year 6 teachers as well. Everyone had a look at the training. So groupings, how do you manage this? So Little Wandle initially is taught as a whole class, so all together, but after a 5-week block of teaching, the children will be assessed. It comes with an assessment tracker, the scheme does. The data is then put onto the assessment tracker, and then this highlights children that may need some extra support. This has to work for your school. And you have to be realistic with this, with the number of support staff you have. Some schools might have a number of adults that could do more groupings with this. You've got to find what works for you. At Cwmffrwdoer, we currently do teach whole class. Then children will take part in short intervention groups in the afternoon, and this will be done by the teacher or the LSA. This is not daily, and it is timetable to suit the demands of the school day. All of our children have made progress with this module. Further up the school, children take part in intervention groups, think rapid catch-up and keep-up sessions. And again, this is with a Little Wandle trained LSA. The children are in groups for reading sessions, which is part of the Little Wandle programme. These groups are matched appropriately to what phase and phonemes they are currently working on. And nursery do a combination of whole class teaching and small group work. You really need to find what works for you within your adults, your ratios, but for us, this module has worked alongside the 5-week assessments, and you just keep repeating things that they haven't got, and you would do that in your whole class input as well. Resources. So to the annual pricing, I've looked into this, depends on the size of your school. So when you buy Little Wandle, you can pay for it as an annual subscription, and you get a lot of the resources, but mostly the planning and the assessment tracker. So it can go up to as much as £2,000, but that would be for sort of a 6th form entry school, depending on the size. But the things that you would need to buy would be the flashcards, word sets, tricky words, grow the code posters. That's the most important one, the grow the code posters, and actually we have them in every single classroom. Books to practice and apply reading and writing skills. The planning, you get all the planning with the subscription, and Little Wandle are really passionate about reducing workload. So the planning is from nursery to year 2 and beyond if needed. And obviously there are lots of support groups with Little Wandle. So a lot of my staff have found that we might not have the money to buy boxes and boxes of the word cards, but you can, through support groups, get these onto PDFs. There are ways around it. The books, the Big Cat Collins books, are beautiful, but they are pricey. So for us as a school, we couldn't buy lots of these, just enough to do our groups, but they don't go home because we were worried they wouldn't come back. As time goes on, we might be in a situation where we can buy more. That really depends on budget and where you are, but don't be put off by that. We started very small and we have continuously grown. So here are just some examples of the lovely books that, that it comes with. And that for us has been the best. The children absolutely love the range of books. And we keep these very separate. So they are their phonics Little Wandle books. And the reading books that they take home are the usual sort of scheme books. There's a real focus on reading for pleasure. They're brilliant because in the back of the books, has all the comprehension prompts for the staff to use, and it has 3 main areas: decoding, prosody and comprehension. But all of the LSAs and all teachers said, oh, it's just brilliant because it's all there for you. You're not trying to think of things at the top of your head. And you can see they come in non-fiction, fiction, a real range of things that they're interested in, and we keep them in one place. So we know what phase they're all on. And yeah, the children just absolutely love them. So this is where you've got to work around what works for your school. So really, Little Wandle says that they would expect the children to have a reading practice with a phonics book up to 3 times a week. This is a dedicated time for teachers to tap in without distraction and actually see where they are with a clear focus, because it has the read 1, read 2 and read through sections in it. We currently do that, and most schools would, as part of your reading comprehension, your carousel. The children really benefit from this repeated practice. It helps them be quicker at reading the GPCs, the words and the tricky words that they find in the book. And their language learning is supported by the introduction of key vocab. Teachers use the same strategies and LSAs used in the daily phonics lesson sessions, which helps reduce cognitive, overload, basically. So everything that we've done within the input, the different strategies, like we do segmenting fingers, that would be then used when we're doing the reading. The decoding, this has a clear focus on applying the phonics, and teaches them how to read aloud, the meaning, the stress, the intonation. That's one thing I do find because I've taught previous phonics schemes in England, with Little Wandle, within the planning, there's a real focus on what these words actually mean. So they'll introduce a word, we'll talk about what does that word mean, when would you use it, and it's used in sentence writing. And then obviously your read through is your comprehension, the final reading session, and that explores comprehension. But again, you've got to look at what works for you. It says up to 3, you may do more, you may just do once a week. For us, we're not in a position where these books go home. You might want to do that. Engagement. For us, it's the engagement has been so positive. We do lots of monitoring with pupil voice, and children have voiced how much they enjoy doing Little Wandle. And the older children that are sort of year 3, year 4, they say they catch me around the school. Oh, we really miss doing Little Wandle, miss. We loved it. The lessons have such a clear structure. They know what to expect. So it does suit children with ALN, because they know exactly, right, this is what we do first, this is what we do next, this is what we do finally. The Little Wandle, they're active engagement because there's a continuous expectation of an oral response. You do it all together. And then this is followed up by the activity of reading words, sentences, writing, applying new sounds, as well as the ones that they've previously learned. And that's a really, really good point. We do something called shuffle time, where we'd have all the digraphs, the trigraphs that we've been learning, all the single phonemes, and we do that every start at the beginning. So they're always recapping previous phonemes. And then the further active application comes in the regular reading practice sessions with the decodable books, demonstrating to children themselves their rapid growing ability to read. And it has given them so much confidence in reading. Yeah, so obviously I follow Little Wandle, Little Letters and Sounds. I do lots of presentations to governors, because there was a big investment in this, so they're very keen. Children present as well and talk to governors and other outside people about Little Wandle. We do lots of engagement with teachers and parents, and they just absolutely love it. You can see in one of the pictures a little girl actually being the teacher doing shuffle time. They're investigating, they're looking for digraphs. So yeah, they love phonics. They're lost. If something happens and I say, well, we're not doing it today, we've got to do this, and like, what's going on? That's how much they've got used to doing it every day. So parents, there is resources for parents to use at home. There's the flashcards, and a lot of parents have invested in that, and the keywords. And I did a parental workshop for to present to to teachers and parents, and it was really lots of parents came, the parental one, and I actually parents were then able to then go and watch little Wandle being taught, and that was a really good way to get them in. Historically, parental engagement has been quite tricky at Cwmffrwdoer, but this workshop was the most heavily, the most they'd ever been to a workshop, so it was really good. There is homework on the little Wandle website as well, which parents can do at home, and you start spellings. You've just got to do what fits your school, but there are lots of resources that you can say to parents, look, if you want to do a bit of extra, they're on Amazon if they want to. I mean, you can make cards as well, but there are lots out there for them to use. And the support, I found through my years of teaching phonics that often, if you're not doing it regularly enough or you're not in education, actually pronouncing the sounds can be quite daunting. And I've always had an open door policy, just come and ask me. Sometimes parents aren't, confident enough to do that. What's lovely about little Wandle is it has videos of children saying all the phonemes and all the sounds. And this is something that we've actually put on our school website so they can access. So I always point parents in the direction of this because it's fantastic and good for staff and for everyone really, just to make sure that we're saying them purely and not adding on extra sounds. Yes, this is just to show you, to try and get parents in, and like I said, for us it's tricky to get parents in. So these were little postcards that parents then would write a comment after watching staff teach and the PowerPoint. And my staff were really brave about doing that, but it was a way to get our parents in, and they loved the sessions and they could see how invested staff and the children were. That's just a little tip really, just so you can keep evidence. So the assessment, this is, I do love assessment, but don't panic, this is easy assessment. So it is, as part of your annual membership, you have an online little Wandle assessment track, and this helps all the children to keep on track, and it maps progress, and then it identifies risks of children falling behind and what you can do. It's very detailed, but it's very easy. It does the work for you. Gone are the days when you're trying to do your own Excel spreadsheet. It does everything for you. It's done on sort of a Google form. It's a click and it's boom, 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 boom. So after you've done your 5 weeks of teaching, you would then put this data in, and it gives you a heat map and a really detailed analysis of each child's progress. And the heat map will have different colours, so you can see clearly where children are. What I really like about it is it shows every bit of progress. So wherever they are, it will show that value added. And it could be baby steps for some, but everybody is going in that right direction. It's very good actually if you have a child that comes from a different school and is using a different scheme, and no matter what time they join you, you can do something called a placement assessment, which means that you can track out exactly where you need to start teaching from. It just gives you a nice idea. The LSAs are trained to do the following interventions, which is on the back of this assessment. So keep up. That's for somebody that's nearly there, not quite, just needs a little bit of extra, and they might not stay on keep up. That's more for the teachers or the LSAs to do. It has SEND because it's England, but they have ALN things for assessment. And then the rapid catch up is more of an intervention. So that's what it will come out with, and you'll know exactly where your children are. This is just an example of a heat map. So it's a really good guidance, and so you can exactly see where they are, and you can see it even breaks it down to, oh, is this a tricky word? Is it decodable words? Is it tricky words they're struggling with? And you can see the red, obviously, is your urgent, right, need to do something about this. Then I call it the salmon, like the orangey colour. That's nearly there, because bearing in mind, what you have to keep in your head is this is geared up to the phonics screening. So in year 1, they will be taking that assessment. So it is quite boom, 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 quite full on. So it's good though, because it keeps you on your toes and keeps you going with that continuous progress. And then you can see the ones that have green. So you continue to keep any gaps and you move on. But this is really good as well from a monitoring point of view. The data we use a lot for progress meetings, and LSAs have copies of this, so they know exactly what they need to do next with their groups. And really, just thank you for listening. I hope you found it useful, and you are more than welcome if you want to come and visit Cwmffrwdoer Primary School to have a little taster. You are more than welcome to come and visit. Thank you very much.